I've been incredibly impressed with some of the examples that we're about to see in this video that have taken traditional face-to-face educational experiences and put them in a situation where I believe some of the faculty will use some of these strategies again when we go back to traditional face-to-face. What I think is one of the most important pieces of all of this, and that is contact with the students in a way that shows humanity. That, to me, I can't emphasize enough. We need to have some humanity in this, where we're really working with students and identifying some of those struggles that they might be having and trying to help overcome some of those struggles.
Yeah, so prior to moving to remote teaching, I already had a pretty strong Bright Space, which is our LMS. And before we left campus, I talked to the students about how we were going to really work within the Bright Space confines for the course content, but that the delivery of material would take on multiple forms. So we would have live classes where we could check in and talk to each other, meet one-on-one if we needed to. And then all of the lectures, some of them would be delivered live, but they would also always be delivered asynchronously. So I'm recording, sometimes I'm delivering a lecture and then doing it again and recording it, adding in little animations and adding in features that captivate the students, and then checking in with them. The students are using my office hours regularly. I'm giving them assignments that I keep telling them why this assignment isn't busy work, and we meet over and over again until all of a sudden they say, oh wait, this assignment isn't busy work. This is what I would do in the clinic. Understanding these things is what I need to do to work with patients. And even though this is a fake case, a virtual case, one day this case will be real to me. So in many ways, I'm delivering more in a way.
So I teach a course on Shakespeare that's primarily English majors and communications, sports journalism majors. And usually in the course, I have students do performance projects, because drama is something that you shouldn't just read off of the page. It's all about performing it and understanding that what you add to the dialogue is as important as the dialogue itself. So I was pleased with the costuming they came up with. Students posted pictures of themselves having raided their closets at home in costume for their character. We did that as a discussion thread. Students also will be posting shoebox sets. So using just the construction paper, markers, crayons, magazines, whatever they have laying around their house, they'll kind of create a set design, such as, if they had a budget, what would they have done? How would they have staged their scene?
And so one of the things that I've been trying to message to students is that they're loaded up with their academics. They're loaded up with, trying to navigate this while being home. But everybody's going through it as well. And so sometimes it's good to, just like how we would do on campus, talk about how our lives, how our days are going. I wanted to try to showcase that, to bring that human element to this weird environment. So I just had this idea that, I'm a very extroverted person. I love talking to people. And, I don't have the opportunity to do that. So I said, maybe I should just get on a video call with some people and just, ask them a couple of questions, see where the conversations go, and record it. And hopefully this will show other people that, this is how I'm dealing with it. This is how Chris is dealing with it. This is how this professor is dealing with it. That we're all in it together. And hopefully it'll be nothing content related, but something of more of like a brain break, that we're still part of something together.
Yeah, I'll talk about two classes just briefly a little bit. So one of the courses is a movement course, Modern Technique and Theory. And so it was important to me and to the students to move in some capacity, even though we knew we would have limited space and that it would be challenging to see and give them corrections because of the hands-on piece missing. So something that I did is reach out to them before we shifted into this learning. I asked if they were willing to take a photo of their dance space that they would be moving in, so I could get an idea of how much space they would have to work with safely, and try to adapt some of the warm-up, for instance, to pull movements that they knew, but adapt them to a smaller space. Ultimately, the goal was to create movement sequences that could be safely done in a smaller space, but also activate some of the pieces they were working on, like core stability, pelvic awareness, alignment, make them sweat, get them engaging in their learning in different ways. And also a big piece of it for me was to support them emotionally, as dance is an outlet to express some of those feelings we keep pent up inside. And I knew the students at this time seemed to really need that outlet.
Sure. So our clinical students who are due to graduate in May What we're doing is finishing up their summative exams, and we've decided to do it digitally. What we usually do is they come back on campus and they have standardized patients, and they do practice history, physicals, interpreting labs, and creating plans. But since we can't be on campus, we've turned that into sort of a telemedicine encounter. So the student will be on a Zoom call, and as myself, one of the proctors, I will play the role of the patient as well. And the student will have to go through the same encounter as they would if they were doing a telemedicine visit. So our clinical skills class, this is the class that the students take just before they go out on clinical rotations. And so right before spring break, they had done the majority of the class, but the part that was left was almost one of the most important, which was suturing and knot tying, which is needed for, you know, emergency medicine, surgery rotations, all of that. But we came up with a bunch of YouTube videos of demonstrating the instructor doing the knot tying and suturing skill. The students watched the videos and then practiced themselves doing it. They then recorded videos and submitted them back to the instructors for grading. They also had some open labs where they zoomed in and they were able to practice the skill, and the lab instructor was able to say, wait, you sort of did that wrong, hold your hand like this, and they had a good interactive experience with that as well. Both the instructors and the students thought it went really, really well.
I realized that everybody has life going on. So everybody just like calm down, take a breath. I kind of brought them in, and I'm not a big like meditation person, but let's let go of everything. Think about the things that you read for class. Think about some of the things that connect in the world to what we're talking about in class, and just be present. I'd come up with some questions based on their online discussions. And when I asked kind of a global question, they all looked at me, and I'd set up 10 breakout rooms. So I immediately said, all right, you're going to be partnered up with someone randomly and go. So off they went into the breakout rooms. The breakout rooms were set for 2 minutes. Then they came back to the classroom, and I could not, like, everybody wanted to talk. We had everybody, you know, muted so that people weren't talking over each other, but it created a really amazing and engaging opportunity. So I have 25 students in that class. I can see all of them, and I don't think there was one person that didn't engage and share. Last week I used breakout groups. It's so fun to pop in. Mm-hmm. I found if I leave my camera on, they want to talk to me. If I turn my camera off, they don't notice me. They know I'm there, but they keep talking. And so I've kind of used my camera as like, I'm here and I'm silent, or I'm here and I'm going to kind of cue you and get you going. Thanks. Actually, I'm excited. I think I'm going to be a better teacher face-to-face because of this. I think I will use Brightspace in much different ways and much more effectively because of this. Students need relational, experiential learning, and just because we're using different technology, it doesn't mean we can't do it.
This has given me an opportunity to connect with the students in a different way. And a lot of those advising meetings that I've been having, a lot of the one-on-ones that I've been having with students have been a lot more impactful and a lot more in depth. And I feel like I've been able to connect with students a lot more, but I think now I'm gonna open up a policy where I meet with students at least, 2 to 3 times a week, where students come in and I sit down one-on-one with them and just kind of shoot the breeze with them, see how they're doing, see, what progress they've made on a video game, what progress have they made, in that home project, or, how's their mom doing today, something that I haven't been doing before. Now I'm doing it a lot more, and it's authentic, and I'm actually enjoying it.
As we watch these videos and as we talk about this whole pandemic and the impact it had, if nothing else, I really hope that piece I keep mentioning about humanity is carried forward, and faculty and students alike recognize that we all have lives outside of academia, that we're trying to fit these puzzle pieces together, and to be aware and to work with students and recognize and celebrate the unique attributes that students have, and have the students recognize and be appreciative of the unique attributes that faculty have. And I think it's great for students to see faculty as humans, and for students and faculty alike to see each other as people who are trying to make their way through the world at just different times.